All praises to the Most High, Ahaya. This is Brother Holly here on the AHAYAH'S House channel, here with the Spirit of Truth broadcast for this Sabbath day. All praise to the Most High. It's been another glorious week. I give the Most High praise. We've gone through a lot as a nation in the past week, and we're still going through it, but just give the Most High His praise. Today is the Sabbath. Enter into your rest as the Most High has instructed us. This is a day not to seek your own work, not to seek your own pleasures, nor speak your own words. Let's keep the Sabbath day holy, for that's a commandment. So be it. Y'all all right? I hope so. The Most High laid something on my heart just before I started this broadcast. I wasn't going to talk about this today, but I got to be obedient. You may have noticed I'm wearing white for these broadcasts. The scriptures tell us in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 8, it says, "Let your garments always be white." So I wear the white shirts and the white garments to be obedient. And it is just a compliance issue. That's all it is, children. That's all it is. All praises. Okay. What was placed on my heart was an examination of how people are using the scriptures inappropriately to fleece money from others. They set themselves up as the speaker, as the teacher, as the pastor, the leader, and they get people to make vows to give them money and keep passing the plate over and over and over again. And it's just become a money racket, just to call it simple. And the coronavirus epidemic really put a kibosh on a lot of these guys and gals. It really hurt their pockets because people were staying home. They weren't. And it's really ugly when you act like that pastor in Louisiana was acting, that when people receive their stimulus checks, that money from the government, that this pastor in Louisiana was telling, not asking, mind you, he was telling his congregants to send that money to him to support his ministry. That's just plain out and out stealing, man. It just shows just how little you care about those folks. And we're going to read from 1 Corinthians chapter 9 we're going to read the grounds for why they be asking for money. And we're going to read the grounds of why they shouldn't. It's all here. Paul, whom you trust. Let's see. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 1. Am I not an apostle? Am I not free? Have not I seen Yeshua, Messiah, our master? Are ye not my work in Ahaya? If I be not an apostle unto others, yet doubtless I am to you. For the seal of my apostleship are you in Ahaya. He said, look, I'm the one who got you into this, into the movement. I'm the one who preached to you the truth of the gospel, got you born again. He said, my answer to them that do examine me is this. Now he's being scrutinized. Let's see for what? He says, have I not power to eat and to drink? Have I not power to lead about a sister, a wife, as well as other apostles, and as the brethren of the master and Cephas or Peter? Or I only and Barnabas, have not we power to forbear working, to not work? Who goes to warfare at any time in his own charges? That's a good question. Who planteth a vineyard and eats not of the fruit thereof? Or who feedeth a flock and eats not of the milk of the flock? The answer is nobody. If you plant a vineyard, you're going to eat of it. If you raising sheep or some other kind of cattle, you're going to eat of them. It's your work. You're going to eat of it. Say I these things as a man, or say not the Torah law the same also? For it is written in the Torah law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the corn. Does the Most High care for oxen? The answer is no. He don't care about ox, not like he care about people. He says, or save he it altogether for our sakes no doubt. this is written, that he that plows should plow in hope, and he that threshes in hope should be partakers of his hope. We have sown unto you spiritual things. Is it a great thing that we shall reap your carnal things? Now, a lot of your tithe taking, pork chop eating, Sunday go to meeting preachers and teachers, this is where they'll stop in 1 Corinthians chapter 9. They won't read no further. They'll say, hey, look, we're the ones teaching you these spiritual truths. It's no big deal for you to cough it up when we ask for you to pass the plate, when we need something, when we want something, for you to meet our needs. We meeting your needs, you meet our needs. Verse 12, if others be partakers of this power over you, are not we rather? Nevertheless, here comes the breakdown. Nevertheless, we have not used this power, but suffer all things, lest we should hinder the gospel of Messiah. Wow. He said, though we got all this power to lead people around, power to partake of your cardinal things because we share with you spiritual things, power to not work. He said, we haven't used this power. Me, Barnabas, none of us. None of the Paulites didn't use it. Wow. You don't see Paul anywhere taking a collection except for the poor saints in Jerusalem. That was the only people he collected money for. Study it out. He never took a collection for himself. Matter of fact, I believe it's in 1 Thessalonians, he said, these hands have taken care of me and mine that came with me. The book of Acts lets us know that when Paul would be out there, he would take an occupation. He was a tent maker. He would work with his hands in the thing that is good to support himself and those that went with him. But they had this movement about pastors and teachers not being what they call co-occupational, i.e., having a job to support yourself and your family and preaching the gospel freely. They say, oh, no, we can't be co-occupational. We got to give ourselves completely over to this. So we need you, congregants, to support us with your tithes, offerings, and gifts of love. I sound just like one of those infomercials on the Teaching Believers Nonsense. That's TBN. For all of you who just said, wait a minute. Yeah, that's what TBN stands for. At least Brother Holly's book is Teaching Believers Nonsense. But I digress. Let's go on. Verse 13. Do you not know that they which minister about holy things live of the things of the temple? And they that wait at the altar are partakers with the altar? Oh, they saying that's what the Levitical priests would eat, what was brought to sacrifice. Those sacrifices, they just weren't burnt up to a cinder, man. They would cook them and eat. Even so hath the master ordained that they which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. Okay, if they even went that far, they would skip over where he said I didn't use these powers. But they'll bring this out. Yeah, I preach the gospel. I should live of the gospel. Verse 15, but I have used none of these things. That's the second time he said that. Neither have I written these things that it should be so done unto me. For it were better for me to die than that any man should make my glory in void. He said it'd be better for me to starve to death. For anybody to make my glory. What was his glory? That he would preach the gospel for free. That he had all this power. He would not use it because he didn't want to hinder the gospel. How many times have you known somebody who said, I would go to church with you if they wouldn't ask me for so much money all the time? Or I stopped going to church because they kept asking me for all this money. And these churches, a lot of them are not going to survive the reopening of COVID. Because these people have, their whole stack, their deck of cards, their house of cards rather, has been exposed. They were having people believing that you had to be tithing at this place, be a covenant connection so that the blessings of this house be over on your house. Well, these people haven't been tithing at all because they ain't got no job. And they've been surviving because the Most High is looking out for them without going to these places of worship. Wow, it's gonna be a whole new ball game once the vaccine is widely available and the economy is back online and things are back to normal. Verse 16. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe unto me if I preach not the gospel. For if I do this willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. Well, what's your reward, Paul? What is my reward then? Verily that, when I preach the gospel, I make the gospel of Messiah without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. For though I be free from all men, yet I have made myself servant unto all, that I may gain the more. Unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the Torah law is under the Torah law, that I might gain them that are under Torah law. Paul said, I make myself compliant so that people who are practicing compliance will hear me too. That's what I do. You see the beard, you see the white shirt. I'm compliant. I'm a Sabbath keeper. I'm compliant, so fellow Sabbath keepers, you can listen. To the weak I became as weak, that I may gain the weak. I have made all things to all men, that I might save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be a partaker thereof with you. I make these broadcasts, like I told you before, this is not a monetized channel. I make these broadcasts free of charge. I will never ask you for a nickel. If you have any questions on anything from the scriptures, you can put it in the comment section. Like I said before, I will endeavor to answer your question to the best of my ability. Why? I want to be a helper in your faith. I want to help you in your relationship with the Most High and with His Son, Yeshua Messiah. I want to see you on that day, brothers and sisters. I want to see you in glory, wearing white, in the robes of righteousness, washed in the blood. That is my goal. That is what I'm here for. All praises to AHAYAH and to His Son, Yeshua, the Messiah. All praise.